Good morning, guys. Welcome back. This is Pete Dahlgren, building Mears Models F86. Now, as you guys know, the build of the airplane is actually done, and now that I've got it done, I'm looking into what's going to happen next. Now, I have actually removed a bunch of parts out of here because I got pieces to actually go in and beef up for the gear doors and things. And the reason I'm considering the build done is because the wings and everything is done. But I'm going to do all the extras and add it. And this is phase 2, in case you guys are wondering. And this is going to be covering a lot of the detailing process of this. And it starts now. And it starts with gap seals and actually adding things. Now, if you're not building your airplane for scale, you're probably ready for glass and paint. However, I'm getting ready to perfect every little thing. There is a little bit of body work that had to happen in here. Not a huge problem. I'm going to have to do a little bit of priming. I'm going to have to redo some of the panel lines in this. Now, on the wings, there's quite a bit that is to be desired when it comes to looking at the designs and this and that. This is where a model's really going to help you tremendously to get these lines. There's a lot of panel lines in these wings. There's a lot of things that go on there. And so basically what I'm doing now is I'm going to go over this with some 220. Both wings, I'm going to fill all the major big dings if there are. That one got some because it fell over. And that's because I haven't. Now, the other thing before we get really too crazy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a custom cradle for the fuselage. And I'm going to be doing that with some high density foam. And basically what I'm going to do is actually build it so it will actually be its transport carrier as well. And so this is the point where you don't want any big major scratches. We're going to have some work to do, and there's a lot of things. But from now on, as you notice, I've cleaned the shop up a little bit, getting things organized, and we're going to be working on these on this table for a while. But the wings will go on that stand. I'm going to go down and get another one just so I have 2 stands. They're only 20 bucks at Harbor Freight, guys. These are not expensive. They're worth their weight in gold. And this will give the airplane a perfect cradle to sit in. But I'm also going to be building its shipping cradle so that when it's painted, there's no chance of it getting anything knocked on it and dropped. And it's going to be actually a pretty neat little setup. You guys might want to pay attention in class during that deal. Another thing we're getting ready to do is start getting back on all the major details. I got the tub up there, getting ready to start getting that ready to go. We got a lot of sanding, some filling to do, and there's just a lot of little pieces. So I ordered 2 more 12-ounce finishing resins. I have 1, but 1 is not enough one will probably be enough to do the bottoms of the wings, but you're going to be very surprised just how much material you'll go through by doing all of the other surfaces. I used 4, for instance, on just the fuselage, and all these other pieces and parts are gone, and we still have a lot more glassing to do. So basically what I'll be doing here now is coming back and finishing these up, and when we got some parts to build in here, there's a lock that goes in that. This all needs to be sanded out, and then we need to put in the actual locking mechanism that keeps this from doing this. And it's going to be it will be a simple piece of aluminum that will be gone and slotted across the top here. It'll have a hole back in there, and then what I'll do is I'll go and I'll epoxy an actual bolt in there, so when it slides back into here or wherever in the middle, it will actually go, and once it's there, it'll hold that straight. And so another thing is that on the main thing on the canopy, I have actually, these are the screws I will be using. And let me get around here. I am going to be putting in, these screws are perfect for this, and I will go down and match these up and then get the lock nuts that go with it, and these are actually the correct length that they will need to be. So, and they could actually be a little bit shorter. Now if we have to cut them down, we'll do that. But anyway, these are going to get installed into here, and as you can see, get some light in here, these are the perfect width and they're Phillips, so they're going to be a lot easier to deal with, and they will just simply be countersunk in like this, and they'll look real good. And plus, with a bunch of them in there, you're going to see what the thickness of the canopy, and you want to make sure that you're measuring them out for the threads where it is. So what I'll do here is I've got a strap piece of this canopy that I cut off from that, and I kept it for this very purpose, and that's so I could actually start fitting these in, because these are not going to be easy to get into, but you'll have to do them. And then we're going to make this tray that slides in after the canopy is actually done and installed. All the details are going to slide in on a tray, and we'll just reach in there and push them in so they actually hold in to where they need to be. But before any of that, I've got to have those, I got to have the beacons and everything that go in there first. But we got a lot of sanding and a lot of truing up to do before then anyway. On top of it, the hatch is actually removable, and what I got to do is I'll get this all set up, and then we'll go over that. These are all going to be parts of the cockpit and all the details and all the little things that go in there. And I will be using a lot of these screws as actual details for certain runners and pieces and parts that do go to the jet. And I'll try to figure it out. Now the difference in this series, guys, is I'm going to actually do a lot of this hands-on, and we're going to be doing a lot of Dremel work. And so what I'm getting ready to do is actually this, as soon as I can get these built, they'll only take a couple days to do, and get these ready to go. I'll start getting everything ready to glass. And once I glass it, I'm going to be going like crazy. And I'm going to do these wings live so you guys can actually see that process and all these other pieces, because I need as much room as possible. That being said, I've got to have another one of these stands. Harbor Freight, 20 bucks, done. We're out of there. I also want to get that other pylon sheeted. I want to get these done so that I'm glassing at the same time. And the main thing is to get it, because you know that it can get very, very, very hectic to get all these things done. Another thing I've done here is now I'm getting everything done here. Once the glassing part is done, I've already fit all these servos up. I'm going to take that tape and label every single one of these things and where they all go. MPX connectors have to be considered and start going. Now I have some 3/8 plywood up here, that's aircraft, and I'm going to be cutting these out as in the shape of the inside of the wing to sit in there, so that I can actually glue the actual MPX connectors in there, and so they're easy to get in and out, and they'll be fine. Once you're tested, you can actually epoxy those in, and then you're going to be good. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing a lot of testing, make sure everything else is good, make sure everything's working, and then we're going to move. Now, another detail that I'm doing, and I don't know where I put it, but I have a socket that needs to be installed into the vertical fin, and then that will actually be another piece that actually does just plug in, and then you can slide it in without any issues. But it has to be countersunk, and it will be glued into place. So I'll go over a lot of these connectors and a lot of these other pieces and parts, and we'll make all this stuff actually work as it's going to be. So anyway, main thing is now I'm going to be showing a lot of what's going to go on, and you guys are going to start seeing the magic of what it takes to actually, if you haven't already, you're going to see a lot of what it takes to actually make this thing Top Gun quality. And it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, but nonetheless, it's worth it. Once you see all the panels, nodulars, and all these things like that go on it, it really does start to actually take on some personality. And details make all the difference in the world should you want to do that. When you see where I've actually done a lot of these, these just really absolutely do make everything just really, it just totally buffs everything up. And so there's a lot of rivets in there. These did not take that long putting up. And the airplane's filthy. I got to get some more alcohol and start wiping this thing down, getting the fingerprints and all the other garbage and things like that off it, because we got a lot more to do. And these are all things that are gonna be, well, these are all things that are actually going to make all the difference in the world. These latches and things like that are chipped up on purpose. I'll explain more on that. And I'm going to put some more dents in it. We're going to be putting some scratches in it. We're going to be doing a lot of things when we do the weathering. And it is going to Vietnam era camo paint job. So, and I am going to pay tribute, as said, to the POWMI. So the thing is that there will be some things that are not scale, but then again, we're a sport jet, so we're going to be able to get away with quite a bit of these things. And it's actually called a sea camo. It's going to be mainly green and browns, and it's kind of neat. It's going to have a really bright colored bottom, and of course it'll have the silvers, and these are all things that are going to be done. Yeah, we'll start getting things done so we can glue the fin in. That needs some details done to it before that can be done. Plus there's the counterweight that goes in it, and there's other little things that just need to be done. And so I'm going to get a dry erase board and start putting a punch list together of everything that really needs to be done in this thing. So stay tuned, and I'm telling you guys, if you actually just build this thing up for, even if you're not building up per scale, you're going to be amazed just how beautiful this jet does actually build out. Once you see it to this stage in person, I mean, guys, it is just freaking amazing. Even if you don't go through all the stuff I've done, you're going to have an amazing jet. You know, it's just, I see this airplane is almost, I could almost bet that I could stand on these wings. They're so strong. And I strongly would absolutely, and I'm going to share a little story with you guys on this. Guys are so screwed up on their weight issues on some of these airplanes. And I went out to the flying field, and I've talked to you guys a lot about why I built my landing gear out of this stuff, my mounts, and why it's in there. And it's 3/8. I watched 5 beautiful airplanes lose their landing gear yesterday afternoon. And I just could not believe that they were doing it out of next to nothing, going 1/8 inch, 3/16 plywood, whatever the deal is. Guys, do like I did and epoxy some 3/8 in the wings of this thing. And if you're really screwed up about that, then you can get some carbon fiber spacer plates and put those on there to give it a give point if you really want to do that. And a lot of you guys know these things, but guys, you got to build the shit out of the wing mounts on there. It adds a tremendous amount of strength in there. And I overbuild landing gear mounts because I've watched, like I said, these guys are losing their retracts on landings and this and that. And I'm just like, oh my God, he taught these guys. And these are ARFs that are doing this, guys. That's why I don't like them. ARFs are just so easy to get in trouble with. And to me, that they're just not worth the effort. And I just don't, I've had a couple and neither one of them were worth a crap. I mean, I was always doing repairs on them. And next week, I'm going to get the P47 back. The first build I ever did, you guys are going to see what's left of it, and I'm going to try to save it. Got a Zeroli P47, 97 inch, and I built it years ago, and they lost the airplane. But I've agreed to actually buy it back for parts so I can get the gear, and then I'm going to order possibly a new fuselage kit, and we'll see what it is. And we'll see what it's actually going to be. So, it was, I never put a cockpit in that one, but it was orange nosed and orange tailed, and it had a lot of cool stuff on it. The guy actually did take it apart and actually put rivets in it, and it looked really good. The airplane flew amazing, and that's why I tell you guys, don't skimp on your electronics. Cheap servos are exactly that. They're cheap garbage. Don't skimp on anything on this airplane. You got to figure you need 8 really good servos for this airplane. And so, you're going to need 4 in the wings. You're going to need 2 in the tail. There's 7 of them there, plus the one for your steering. But make sure they're all good servos. Savox, Hi-Tecs. I'm using 625s. You can get 025 Savox. They're really good servos, but you want something very fast. And if you're running a gyro, you're going to need something that will keep it from overworking itself. So anyways, stay tuned, and I'm going to show you these actuators and all these other things that are going in. We're going to start, this is the detailing, and it's like I said, this was really considered part of the build. I wasn't going to do them, but now that I've actually gone in and actually got that one to where it's kind of cooperating with me, then yes, we're going to go ahead and do them and get them built and sanded. That one's pretty damn close, and once it's done, I'll get it glassed and we'll mount them up and see how they look. But until then, I will see you guys in the funny papers.